So I guess it's not just left-wingers who have been inciting political violence. I'm going to show you 2 quick videos of prominent Republicans who have called for the assassination of Democratic leaders. And then after I show the clips, we'll talk about it. The first Republican is Michele Morrow. She's a Republican leader in North Carolina. And before I show you the video of her being confronted to her face about these remarks, here's exactly what she said. She responded to someone's tweet that said, "Who wants to see Obama tossed into Gitmo for treason?" And Michele responded by saying, "I prefer a pay-per-view of him in front of the firing squad. I do not want to waste another dime on supporting his life. We could make some money back from televising his death." There's no other way to put it. This is inciting violence. But check this out. Here's a video of somebody who confronted her to her face about this. Now, it's the Good Liars, so this guy's pretending to be a supporter of hers to try to get her to open up about what she said.
I'm really a fan of all the work that you've done.
Oh, thank you.
I was wondering if I could grab your autograph.
Oh, you're so kind. Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you mind signing this?
No,
This is one
no.
of your tweets. It said, Obama did it, Hillary did it, Schiff did it, Comey did it, Holder did it. And then it says death to traitors on there. And I thought that was a great tweet. Do you mind signing it for me?
Sorry, yeah, I do mind signing for
Oh,
you.
would you mind
But
just...
nice to meet you.
Well, why won't you sign it? This is your tweet, right? Will you sign this other one where you said...
Exactly.
Will you sign this other one about killing Obama on pay-per-view?
The event's over.
Fence over here. Will you sign the tweet where you said a firing squad for Obama, a pay-per-view death? Michelle, will you sign it? All right, well, she tweeted it, that she wanted Obama to be killed by a firing squad on pay-per-view, but she wouldn't sign the tweet.
You could tell by her body language that she was not comfortable with that exchange. She called for the public assassination of a president, a prominent Democrat. That is outright inciting violence. But there's more. Here's the second Republican who called for the assassination of a Democrat. Here we go.
She would be a lot easier to beat than Joe Biden. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. But Kamala Harris, my goodness, there's something that just kind of is tribal where people are like, I don't know if I want this crazy person running the country.
So right there, he's calling for the death penalty of Joe Biden. He's saying that Joe Biden should get a state-sanctioned assassination. When you have millions of followers like Charlie did, he had millions of right-leaning young people who looked up to him, who listened to his words. And when they hear things like this come out of his mouth, this is what they hear. They hear, Joe Biden is a criminal that should be put to death. What that does is it empowers crazy people to try to do that. Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. With a voice as big as his, with a following and a platform as big as Charlie's, when you say things like that, it resonates with people. Calling for Joe Biden to get a state-sanctioned assassination is inciting violence, is inciting political violence. Saying that a murderer should get the death penalty because it's a legal repercussion, like if you kill someone in Texas or Idaho, you'll likely get the death penalty. And I'm against the death penalty, just in general. If you're calling for the death penalty on criminally charged murderers, I can say it's inhumane, but I can't debate whether it's a bad faith argument or whether it's inciting political violence because it's broadly accepted and it's a legal repercussion of what you did. But calling for the assassination of people who you disagree with, he said Biden committed crimes against America. Translation, he didn't like what Joe Biden did as president. So he's inciting violence against someone who he disagrees with. Look, man, I mean, political violence is incited by people from all over the political spectrum. I have never said that the left hasn't done that, that people on the left haven't incited political violence. But to pretend for a second that this guy never did that is a joke. To pretend for a second that this guy, Charlie Kirk, did not help create the beast, the political landscape that is divisive, violent, that he eventually became victim to, is also a joke. Stop pretending that. People from all sides of the political spectrum, left, right, center, crazy people incite political violence. And I condemn all forms of that on all sides. But don't for a second think that Charlie did not create the monster that killed him. Because it did. I got one more thing for you real quick. I want to go back to Charlie's video and just for funsies and unpack the context leading up to his call for Biden to be assassinated just exposed how ridiculous some of his claims were. But here's the full context of that.
That it is because of that approach that I stand before you as Vice President of the United States of America.
Oh my goodness, is she beatable? It's like Black Hillary on steroids.
Black Hillary on steroids. Is that funny to right wingers? I'm being so for real. Is that funny? It's statements like that that cause people like me to never take him seriously. It's statements like those that make it clear to me that he would often just throw like red meat at his base, at his supporters, just to rile them up, just like Trump does. Trump says crazy shit all the time because he knows that his base eats it up. Black Hillary on steroids, that statement has no value. Everyone on the right is pretending that this guy was this nuanced, well-spoken thought leader who had well thought out takes on various issues and was intellectually honest. And that's really interesting to me.
Is she black? I guess she says she's Caribbean or whatever. Doesn't matter. She is.
Is she black? She told you she's black. And everyone tells you she's black. And who cares? What about policy? Most of his coverage on Kamala Harris was framing her as a crazy black woman, insane in the membrane, nuts. But rarely, at least compared to how often he would just attack her character or her race or her gender, rarely would he deep dive into policy differences outside of him just calling her a communist, which is laughable, but I digress.
She gives these speeches and it just has this aura of totalitarianism. My team says she's Indian and Caribbean. I'll tell you what, she would be a lot easier to beat than Joe Biden. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. But Kamala Harris, my goodness, there's something that just kind of is tribal where people are like, I don't know if I want this crazy person running the country.
Kamala. This guy positioned himself as a political commentator, someone who covered the news, who knew everything about American politics. This was the vice president of the United States, and you either one, didn't know how to pronounce her name, not Kamala, it's Kamala. So if you didn't know how to pronounce her name, then clearly you are not paying attention to the news. You don't listen to people who talk about her, who know how to pronounce her name. Or the second option is, and this is more likely, he is intentionally mispronouncing her name, which is commonplace for women of color, people of color in general, to have their names intentionally mispronounced, to try to poison the well without even debating policy.
There's something that just kind of is tribal where people are like, I don't know if I want this crazy person running the country.
Right. So Donald Trump's not crazy, right? The guy who was a pedophile, who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a decade and very likely helped him commit his operation for human trafficking. That guy is not crazy. Anyway, I could go on for weeks and unpack all the videos, just exposing how hypocritical it is for anyone on the right and for really Charlie Stans to blame the left wholesale for this growing violence that we're seeing in the political landscape here in the US, when clearly these Republicans, these prominent Republicans, have contributed to that as well.